Hi, Faith Martin here with an interview in honor of Valentine's Day to talk a little bit about that chemical attraction that we sometimes feel towards an individual and maybe sometimes don't always know why, but there's some kind of mad attraction. And Dr. Bill Miller is on the phone with me. He is a 30-year physician in academic and private practice. He is also the author of The Microcosm Within, Evolution and Extinction in the Whole Genome. Dr. Miller also serves as a scientific advisor for Omnibiome Therapeutics. Dr. Miller, it's nice to have you with us. Tell me a little bit more about this thing that sometimes we call love.
Well, it's called the microbiome, and here's what we didn't know and what we know now. Just a few years ago, we used to think of ourselves as basically single beings. So I look in the mirror, I see Bill Miller. I'm one thing. I'm one person. And how else can you view yourself but that? But actually, what we found out is the number of microbes that are in us and on us, the bugs, the germs, outnumber our own personal cells by more than 10 times. And if you think of the genetic material, the genes that are inside my own personal cells, the bugs that are inside me and on me and are part of me have 100 times more genetic material than I do. I know this sounds absurd, but this is actually what we are finding out. It's all microscopic, so you can't see it, and you don't really feel it. But these bugs are, we use the term obligatory. It means you gotta have them for the proper function of your immune system, for your proper metabolism, and it exerts powerful influences on you that you don't feel yourself, but they are actually affecting all of those parameters, all that physiology. It's part of your mood. It's part of everything that you do. You just don't know it.
So you're saying that crazy chemical attraction that we all call being in love with somebody could really be no more than just our germs, being attracted to their germs?
Well, let's just say that we're at the threshold of wondering whether that's true. And I'm not trying to be tricky. I want us to only talk about really good science. And what we are finding out is that there's an intimacy in the relationship between this huge population of bugs, germs that are part of us. It's such an intimate relationship that they are as much a part of us as our regular cells for many things. So we're finding that how we react, even in social circumstances, is to some degree related to this partnership. And we're just beginning to tease out the differences and trying to understand how much it affects each of us, but it does. And there are good scientific studies proving it.
That is just so interesting and a little scary because so much of us put an awful lot of clout into how extremely we are attracted to an individual.
Well, I think many of your listeners will have heard maybe some other science things, and they talk about how one insect is attracted to another, and it's pheromones. They talk about pheromones. Or there have been lots of articles talking about how certain odors will cue us towards finding someone attractive or alluring. Well, part of the natural things that we give off are, we used to think that it's only due to our own cells, but now we're finding out it's due to our own cells in partnership with all the bugs. And so we're at the threshold of beginning to believe we can manipulate the parameters of that partnership and influence things that include metabolism, include the immune system, and might even include mood disorders, depression, possibly linkages to autism and schizophrenia. That's just being actively researched, and possibly even that thing that we called chemical attraction.
Very interesting. Dr. Miller, how can we find your book and more about this?
My book really relates to how all this has happened in an evolutionary sense. It's called The Microcosm Within. It's on Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble. But if people are also interested in the topic and they want to follow along without anything too particularly complicated, come to my Twitter feed. That's at Bill Miller MD, or join me on Facebook, Dr. Bill Miller, and you'll get links to really interesting current science.
Sounds super fascinating. I appreciate so much you talking with us. Thank you so much, and I will definitely get a hold of you on Facebook.
Thank you. I love your microbiome. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Bill.